Hey guys, big announcement. My special Lefty Son will be dropping Wednesday, April 5th on my YouTube. It's free. Go watch it, support it, like it, subscribe. I shot it here in LA in December at the Dynasty Theater, and I'm really proud of it. So go check it out. April 5th, Wednesday, Lefty Son on my YouTube.
The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pan Studios. I'm Ryan Sickler, RyanSickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. I want to thank you again, as always, whether you're new here or whether you've been here. Thank you for supporting this show. I really appreciate all the love. If you're watching, get in there. Please subscribe. We have guests like this, so hit that subscribe button. And if you got to have more, you got to check out the Patreon. It's called The HoneyDew with Y'all, where I do this exact thing with y'all. And y'all got the wildest fucking episodes I've ever heard in my life. Double lung transplant. People have died. It's insane. All right. Yeah, it's insane, dude. It's $5 a month. You know the deal. All right. Now, catch me in Fort Wayne, Indiana, May 26th and 27th. June 23rd and 24th, I'm in Tacoma, Washington. July 7th and 8th, Appleton, Wisconsin. July 21st and 22nd, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And make sure you watch my brand new special on YouTube. It drops Wednesday, April 5th. It's called Lefty Son. Watch it, subscribe, support it. Thank you very much. That's the biz. All right. Now, you know what we do here. We highlight the lowlights. I always say these are the stories behind the storytellers. I'm very excited to have this guest on here today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Logic. Welcome to the HoneyDew, Logic.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you for your patience over there with that intro.
I know. I'm just so excited. I've been trying to do this interview for like 30 minutes. But we just keep talking about cool shit, which is like fucking up everything.
No, it's not.
I know it's not, but you know what I mean.
But what I want to, first of all, thank you for being here.
I'm really excited.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You're a Maryland dude, so when I found that out, I was extra excited. I always got an extra love for Maryland. But before we get in, please plug.
I'm really listening to you. I just don't know what to do with my hands right now.
Do whatever you be comfortable.
I know, but this is like, I don't know. You know what I mean? This is like, look at this.
I do this a lot.
You do that?
That's comfortable for me because I like to lean in. Yeah.
But then you can't see the money shot at me because I'm hiding.
Yeah, you probably dipped out now.
I'm just kidding. I'm happy to be here though. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I want you to plug and promote everything you want to get out right now. And we'll do it again at the end.
Okay, I am here to promote peace, love, and positivity. I'm here to promote myself and positive outlook, and I'm also going on tour in May. So look that shit up if you want, and if not, who gives a fuck? I'm just happy to be here and talk about cool stuff with you. Thank you.
Thank you, dude. Mm-hmm. So we were talking before the podcast, and I asked you what made you want to start doing podcasts, because I'm a fan. I've watched a lot of your stuff. You incorporate sketches. You lean into comedy, which I like.
Yeah.
And you had an interesting answer. So why are you doing podcasts right now?
Well, first and foremost, I think I lean into comedy because of all the pain that I've gone through, and laughter really is great, but so is crying because it's good to get that out. But I think we can talk about super serious shit when we're laughing. You know what I mean? And so that's why I like to do that. And the reason that I'm not making rounds. This is what I'm doing.
Okay.
I woke up one day and realized that the brand of Logic and me as Bobby, as just a fucking guy, will always be bigger than the music that I make. I know that it will, and I know that it is, and I know the fact that when fans buy tickets to a tour, they're not just coming to hear the song. Some of them are, but most people are coming for the show, and it is like half stand-up, half rap. Like, it's kind of wild, actually. Yeah, but I'm being myself, and I'm being honest, and what I realized is, like, I'm going insane on social media now. And for a long time, I didn't, because social media was a very hard place to terrain the internet. It is, right? It's full of negativity.
The Wild Wild West.
It is insane.
Yes.
It's a bloodbath. And I used to be so angry at myself when I would find that I was hurt by something. So if something hurt me, if somebody's like, oh, I hope your family dies in a car accident.
Would you find that you would get like 1,000 positive comments and that one negative from the guy that's got 14 fucking followers, 100%. That's the one that eats you alive.
Yes. And then it was to a point where I was focusing more on the negative than the positive, because I couldn't wrap my head around, because I'm empathetic. So I was like, why would this person say this?
Right,
like, why would they do I don't understand it. Well, I don't understand it because I'm not a bitch. That's really what it is. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it is what it is. Like, I understand what it's like to be broke because I was once broke as hell, but I've never been a bad person. I've done some bad things, you know what I mean? As a kid, you make stupid mistakes, whatever, but I internally I never let that happen. But what that really is just people going through their own pain and their own suffering and maybe not even realizing it and saying the things that they do. So for me—
But real quick, it takes a mature person on your end to understand and realize that instead of just to spit fire back.
Agreed. I mean, it'd be fun to call them fuckboys and all this other shit. But
some of them need it though. Some of them need it.
But not from me. That's why the best part is just like the internet also works both ways.
That's right. The fans will take care of that.
They'll take care of it, and they'll take care of it in a pretty positive way for the most part. But I realized it's okay that these things hurt me because I am a sensitive, emotional human being. And the world, let alone hip hop, likes to make men feel like can't talk about your feelings. You have to keep everything. Yeah. Bottle it all up, and then you can put a bullet in your head. No, that's, and when I realized it's okay that someone saying they hope my entire family dies, it's okay that hurts. And so when I allowed that, because I used to go, why? You know, and people literally on the internet would be like, you gotta have tough skin, bro. And it's like, nah, fam. Like, no, like, and so once I realized that it's okay that it hurts, I then realized that I was in control of how long I let it hurt and how much I let it hurt me, very much so like an intrusive thought. So once realizing this, I took control back. And now when some fuckboy says something about me or whatever the case may be, I'm like, damn, that hurts. Because maybe I even like that person, or it could be another rapper or famous person or whatever. And I'm like, damn. But it is what it is. My son's healthy. My wife is beautiful. I have like 5 houses.
There it is.
Like, I am so blessed. Like, am I really worried about this? And for a decade, I was worried about that.
It would bother you that long.
Yeah. And now certain things still bother me, but I don't let them bother me for a long time. And I also am not on the internet. So here and there, I'll pop in and I'll check in just to see in real time what's going on, because I can't like live in a fairy tale land where everything's okay. But I do trust my team and my squad. So I don't really have to subject myself to the ignorance of the internet, but I'm taking the shit over right now because I'm investing in the things that matter most, the fans and myself. So I used to want to be so cool, and I used to want people like, no, but the music, like listen to the music, like it's all about the music. It actually has like nothing to do with the music. I make incredible music, but the reason I am as big as I am and as big as I'm fucking about to get, I'm about to be rap Seacrest, motherfucker. Like you don't understand. Like I'm about to do it, and all I'm gonna do is be myself, bro. I be talking about the wildest shit. I talk about when I got molested by my fucking dad's mom, sticking Skittles down my throat. I talk about the time I experimented when I was like 12, almost 13. I jerked my friend off and he jerked me off, and I was like, ugh. Yeah, well, I'm definitely not gay, man.
That's not for me, man.
Yeah, you know, but it's like
my shoulder hurts. Yeah. There's a lot going on here, man.
Shoulder hurts. But what I mean is, think about how many men are like scared, especially in hip hop, to be like, man, I ain't never touched no dick, man. And it's just like, what? It's not that deep.
Well, we're gonna talk about all of it, but
it was a little deep. No, I'm just kidding. No, anyway.
All right, you're very comfortable with yourself. Are you a crier?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, me too, dude.
I'm a crier. You gotta let it out.
What gets you? How old's your son?
3.
All right.
Yeah. So what it's like moments, you know, it's like moments when you realize like, you know, damn, you know, I did it. Like my son is healthy and he's alive and he's not like me. He's not in a crack house surrounded by drugs and guns and violence and domestic abuse and murder. Like, wow. And that'll make me emotional to see this beautiful little boy, or the fact that I fucking love my wife so much. Like I love her, and I'm just so, and it's not a farce. You know, because I'm not like, look how much I talk about it because I'm proud, you know, just like fucking I talk about being black all the time. And it's like, but I'm proud. And yeah, that, you know, shit like that makes me emotional. Not so much negativity though, honestly. Like one of my last really big cries, I've had a few recently. One was, let's go down memory lane. I'll give you the last top two cries.
Top three cries
that I can remember.
Top three cries with logic.
I stubbed the shit out of my toe. No, I'm just kidding. Terrible joke.
Say,
That's a dad joke. Ask me to give you a dad joke.
Give me a dad joke.
Will you give it back? Anyway, my son being born, me marrying my wife. Well, the second one. I would say
you cried a different time the first one.
Yeah, I was like, "What am I getting into?" No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I released College Park, my album recently, and it takes place in 2011, and it's about me and my friends in a car on our way to an open mic night. Now, in 2011, I was homeless. I didn't have anywhere to live, and my best friend Lenny let me live with him. And before I knew it, a year later, I went from being homeless to signed a $1 million deal with Def Jam, moved
1 year.
All my friends out to LA, and 10 years later, here I am. So I thought it'd be kind of cool. You know, you think about these like biopics, like 8 Mile and shit, you know, that's like loosely based off Eminem. I was like, nobody's ever really done a biopic and like an album. So I have all this sound design. Mm-hmm. And something that not many people know about. I'm actually sitting on an album called The Ballad of Rooster Jenkins, which takes place in 1863 about a runaway slave. It's not that deep though. It's like Rap Django. It's like fun, and it's a thing. But all the incredible actors, all the biggest voice actors in the world. Morgan Freeman is narrating the whole shit. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's on it. But it's all about sound design. So, and trust me, this will all make sense. With you know, J.J. Abrams introduced me to his one of his lead sound designers who did all the Star Wars and Star Trek sounds. And I wanted to create like an old radio, Orson Welles radio play kind of a feel.
Fireside chats.
Some wild, like you put it on
that.
and close your eyes and you see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I started with that, and that's crazy, but it's not out yet. And then I got another idea. I was like, man, what if I did this fun story where I kind of take the listener back in time with me. And so it's about me and my friends going to an open mic show and all the shenanigans we get in on the way there.
And is that College Park, Maryland?
That's College Park,
Maryland. And you're rolling around them, what, PG County?
Yeah, PG County.
PG County.
You PG County. Yeah, like, go ahead, Mo. You already know what it is. What it do? What it do? Motherfuckers from Baltimore sound like that.
They do. And you know what else? Baltimore, it's so funny because I used to work and hang out with these Baltimore black guys and DC black guys, and they have a different accent. Mm-hmm. And Baltimore black guys would always say, Doug. You Doug bite? You Doug bite?
Oh, yeah,
and
Doug.
the DC black guys would be like, what the fuck is a Doug? Yeah, because they don't say Doug.
Doug sounds like a Nickelodeon show.
Such a weird fucking accent. Yeah, it is different.
Shit is wild. But I love it.
And so do white people. White people had a horrible accent. Like, he's going to college. Yeah, you know Billy. He's going to college.
That's wild. They sound like grown 3-year-olds.
Yeah. Logic's got a new album coming out.
It's called College Park.
It's called College Park, hon.
Yeah, but I would say, I don't even know how the fuck we got here. How did we get here? I just took like the metro line.
If you were is College Park after you said the story about rolling around back in the day.
I know, but why the fuck was I saying
You were
that?
talking about going to this open mic night.
I know, but why? It was a whole thing.
You were explaining why you had this whole theme to it.
I know, but it was deep.
There were 2 of them.
Who gives a shit?
No, not who gives a shit. You said J.J. Abrams introduced you to the sound guy who put an idea in
to make a biopic. And
Bingo.
I feel like nobody had really done that in hip hop. And I wanted to do music. You're right. Nobody's really done a biopic about their come up, their life, you know? And I thought that would really be fun. And so here I am realizing that like music is my biggest, I love it so much. And now I'm just seeing like, me just being me, dude, is like winning. And I remember, I'm not going to lie, one of my older managers years and years ago, like 2014, 2015, I started doing YouTube videos and they were like kind of popping, but nobody, like no rappers or anybody was doing that. And he was kind of like, you know, you don't want to be the YouTube guy, right? Like really, he told me that. And it's like, I kind of agreed at the time because I was like, I want to be taken seriously as a musician. And there's a part of me that wishes like, damn, what if I had kept doing it? But there's also a part of me that's like, bro, you can't live in the past. You're doing it now. You're having a blast.
You're right where you're supposed to be.
I agree. So I'm happy to be here.
Well,
I think I was still saying something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Let's talk about this then. You want to do a biopic in music. Let's talk about your life. You're born in Maryland. You're born and raised in Maryland?
Yeah,
or DC,
born in Montgomery County, Maryland, in Gaithersburg, and black father, white mother, both addicted to crack and, drugs and different stuff like that. Met each other on a bender, as Theo put it. And they knew each other for 3 days, had sex on a crack house floor, made me. I popped out.
They told you that?
Yes. Yeah. My mom didn't. My dad kept it 100.
Are you an only child?
No, I'm one of 9.
9?
Yeah, but I'm the only child between my mother and father.
Okay.
And the only one who looks white.
Really?
Which is wild, yeah.
That's you treated differently?
Not really, no. Like the internet's lame. Like, but in real life, it's like I was always just. It wasn't nothing. Like if I switched to school, like everybody knew I was mixed, right? Mm-hmm. So a little biracial, little black looking white boy. But if I switched schools, I'd walk out on the playground and I hear, I see like the brothers, I'm like, oh, let me go see what's up to the brothers. And I hear somebody like, oh, it's a white boy, let's kick his ass. I'm like, where's he at? Where's he at? Let's get him. And they start punching me in the face. I'm like, what the fuck?
Where's he at?
And now I'm looking at my shit. I'm looking at all my other brothers and sisters, and I'm looking at me, and I'm like, did y'all leave me in a house fire? What the fuck?
Where is he at? It's so good.
But no, I'm just kidding. But it was one of those things where when I would meet, kids, and they're like, oh, what's up, white boy? And I'm like, no, I'm not white. My dad's black. And they like, you sure?
You sure?
And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right, my man. That was it. That's all it ever was. So that, and then, grew up on welfare, food stamps, Section 8.
And are your parents together for a while you're young or not at all?
Fuck no. Like I have like one memory of them actually being together, and I have a picture of it. And my mom, she's giving me this like little fried chicken. And my dad's the one who took the picture. And, but that didn't work, because my dad was a crackhead, and my mother was a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and she struggled with her addiction my whole life. Sorry, am I too far away from the microphone? Yes, hello. And so that was a hard thing to see. And then she was also like super religious, but like the hypocritical religious, you know what I mean? Like, don't take the Lord's name in vain. God damn it.
Yeah, well, they're all hypocritical.
In a way. Yeah. And I'm like, for me, I don't judge anybody. I'm just not a big organized religion guy.
Bingo.
It's just not like white Jesus on a cloud. It's like, that's not what I really picture when I think about God.
Well, it ends up in usually like mass murder and fucking kids. That's what organized religion's about.
Yeah. So much. I'm really about people's personal relationship with whatever.
Yes.
Know? So you could believe in whatever the hell you want, and I'll respect that. I just don't know why we all got to just be gutting each other. There's this episode of Family Guy that I watched years ago, and it was so incredible, where it's like the Middle East, the year 0.
0, yeah.
And there's these 2 Middle Eastern guys, and one guy's like, oh my God, I love you. We've known each other forever. And he's like, I know, we're best friends since childhood. And then the other guy's like, man, our kids play together. And he's like, they're best friends. And he's like, our wives love each other. He's like, our wives are the best. And then this third guy jumps in and he goes, hey man, did you guys hear about that magic baby that was just born in a manger? And the one guy goes, oh my God, that's incredible. I'm going to follow that now. And the other guy goes, I don't believe in that. That's not right. And then they start stabbing each other with swords to death.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy to me that like the world is so divided and so angry all the time. And don't get me wrong, man, we be passionate. I've raised my voice in arguments and XYZ, and I get that, but it's just crazy that people really just it's just like if you're a Christian and you're atheist, then everybody wants to kill each other. I don't know why. Usually actually it's the atheists that don't want to kill anybody. They just,
right.
You know what I mean? But
That's
anyway.
right. Yeah.
Hot take.
So what age do you realize, shit, I need to really fend for myself and take care of myself then? How quick?
6.
First grade.
Yeah, 7.
Early on,
Yeah, I know.
And why? How do you know?
I mean, because my mom's going to insane asylums and I'm alone for 2 weeks.
She is. Yeah. And your dad's not even around. He's not coming
he's
around
smoking
at all.
crack. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like I've seen my dad smoke crack. I remember walking in when my mom let him stay with us for a little bit, and I walk in the bathroom and he was with Deirdre, the woman who molested me. It wasn't like crazy. She didn't like stick a thumb in my ass or anything. She just like kissed me with Skittles in her mouth. So that was weird.
How old was she?
I don't know. The bitch looked like a deflated football though. She was like, she looked like a camel, like if somebody just took a camel's skin and just threw it on a basketball court in Brooklyn in fucking 105-degree weather, and then draped it over Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. That was, and then the bitch kissed me. So
that's definitely molestation. That's definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't like
and spit.
She wasn't like Stacy's mom. She didn't have it going on. It wasn't like, oh, this is great. Yeah, spit. All the
Skittles in your mouth.
Skittles. No, she like had them and she's
like passed them to you.
It's like ASMR. And yeah, she passed them to me, and she passed me fucking ginger ale taste, and her mouth was like an ashtray, and she had that lipstick that like wasn't red, but it wasn't purple, but it was like weird. Anyway, my life's great.
That happened a lot, huh?
No.
A few times.
There was that, and then there was like, I mean, I remember being in the bed with my sister and her boyfriend, and I was about 7, and I didn't know what was going on, but he was forcing her to suck his dick. In
front of you?
Well, I'm sleeping to the side, but I'm hearing this thing because he's punching her in the face.
Holy shit.
And he's like, you got to suck it better, bitch. Suck it better. And he's punching her. And I'm like waking up from this, and I'm not understanding what's going on. And then I'm kind of grasping it, but I'm this little tiny boy who doesn't know how to defend his sister or himself. Like, but I don't. And then she gets out and she screams, "Mommy!" And she runs out. And then I just remember like falling asleep again in the bed with this dude, but it wasn't like that. And then the next day being like, why did she come out screaming? What happened? And then my mom was like, oh, she was just really hot. So I don't know if she told my mom she was really hot, or I don't know if because then the guy wasn't there anymore. And that's one of the first guys who ever put a gun in my hand as well. So it's been a wild ride.
Yeah. So let's stay where we are. We're 5 years old, 6 years old. You realize I got to take care of myself. So what is elementary school like? Are you skipping school because you don't have to be there?
Not elementary. No, not elementary school.
When did things start shifting for you?
They start shifting when my mother. So I was a pretty bony kid, and I remember they were saying that like I was always so fidgety, but it was just because I was bony. But they thought I had an attention problem, so they tried to put me on drugs, and that wasn't good. It made me feel really weird. I remember saying that. And then my mom, she would come in because we didn't have any money and start crying and talk about all the time she'd been raped and like all this shit to like the principal and all this stuff. So they're like, yo, this kid's fucked up. But like I wasn't. I don't know how I wasn't, but I was all right. But they were like, I mean, he's got to be.
Right, he's got to be.
So then they put me in this like class for the emotionally disturbed. And I'm like, yo, these kids are fucked up. I'm like, yo, these kids are fucked up. Like,
why's he got a helmet?
Yo, for real.
You're just emotional.
They had this room called ASC. It standed for something confinement, like solitary confinement. Bro, I'm 8. Solitary confinement.
That's scary as
I'm
shit.
8 years old.
Hell yeah.
And so you got all these fucking kids who are assholes, and I can't defend myself because if I do, I further prove the point that I'm a disturbed child.
Right.
And
you're aware of that at that age?
Dude, 100%. It's weird. I was aware of a lot.
Yeah.
And my mom, she saw how much this was affecting me. So she was like, all right, I'm going to homeschool you. Now, her definition of homeschooling is a 6-pack and hooked on phonics. And this is not a joke. This is is not a bit.
Oh,
that's shit. What she, so, my mom would get fucking wasted all night. And then I'd wake up at 7, 8 in the morning. She's asleep. She sleeps till 3 p.m., 4 p.m. So I'd get up and I'd just skate. And I'd go skateboarding and I'd do all this. And, excuse me, I'm skating to kind of, it's my only release, right? I'm not doing drugs because I'm too scared, And I lose like 3 years of my life because I was homeschooled and I didn't learn anything. So I went from 5th grade, essentially. This was later, so I'm like 10 now. And I went from 5th grade to 8th grade, and the government contacted my mother and was like, you're not homeschooling your child. I mean, the closest she did, she made me this like fake homeschool ID. And I actually went around the white neighborhood right across the street, and I would knock on people's doors and ask them to donate to the Poor People of America Fund. And they did. And I didn't feel bad because I was a poor person of America. And that's like the best scenario that came out of me getting homeschooled, was just like hitting the Good Humor ice cream truck a couple times, like for real. So then they were like, they need to put your son back in school. So she put me back in school, and guess where the fuck they put me? They put me back in the same class with the same kids from 3 years ago.
Nuh-uh.
Except now they got little muscles and they're fucking assholes. And I'm in there and I'm doing decent, and then they give me this like emotional aptitude test.
Do they treat you like, look, you're back, motherfucker?
Yeah.
They treat you like that? Like, what's up, Bobby? You back, huh?
Yeah.
They do that to you.
That's literally
yeah, and they
how it
got
went.
muscles and shit now.
Yeah, but what was crazy is they would still pick on me because I couldn't do anything or I'd be proving the point. So I take this emotional aptitude test, and the teachers literally go, you were never disturbed. They're like, look at this, because they never gave me a test in the first place. They just said, your mom's screaming about getting raped and having abortions and smoking crack and being a prostitute and all this wild shit. So I was like, oh my God.
And all those things are true of your mom?
Yes.
Back in her day?
Yeah. And let me just say that.
No judgment. I'm just saying,
that's what I mean.
If she was just spitting at her, that's real.
I haven't spoken to my mother in over a decade.
Whoa.
And yeah, I know. We'll get to that. And I haven't spoken to my mother in over a decade. And at the end of the day, all the things that she has done to me, like forms of sleep deprivation, hit me with the hard R, her own son, all her kids. Yeah, for real.
All her kids?
Yeah, she's
Really?
wild. Yeah, because of the systemic racism that she went through as a kid. I mean, she brought a little black boy home at 14, and they're like, we don't mix with their kind. And this like messed her up, on top of her being at 5 years old and all these things that she told me about. That's what I mean. It's crazy. I mean, my mother was telling me stories when I was 7 years old about her being sodomized by two men who were holding a butcher knife over a stove until it was orange, holding it to her neck. And she's like describing to me in detail what it means to be sodomized, all this other things. And then going, one day when, not if, when a man rapes you, you have to scream as loud as you can that you have AIDS and he may stop. Like, this is the shit my mom was saying to me. Now, mind you, anything and everything that you hear me saying about my mother or my father or anybody is not said with disdain. It is said from a place of truth and some comedy. But all has been forgiven there, but not forgotten. So with that being said, this bitch puts me back in regular school. And I'm in this, I'm back with these kids, and I take this aptitude test, and they're like, you're fine. What the fuck are you doing here? And I'm like, thank God. So the first thing I do is go to the meanest bully's fucking neighborhood. And I was like, what's up now, Daquan?
Daquan.
Let's get it. No, for real. I'm like, what's up? What's up? Let's go. And he's like, oh, you out now. Like, that's what's up. Like, trying to be all cool and shit. And I'm like, fuck you, man, in my mind. But I was also... but I was also kind of like, man, it's kind of cool that Daquan likes me. Yeah, but really, he was just scared of me, though. Because he knew, and it was like a whole thing. Anyway, fuck Daquan. Oh,
you turned Daquan around.
Yeah, fuck Daquan. I'm rich now. Where you at, Daquan? You ain't doing shit. Daquan. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I mean, he definitely ain't doing shit, but, it's all good. I'm just being funny. So, check this shit out, though. So then I go back to school, but they put me in the school that I was in with the regular kids before they put me in the bad program at the other school.
Okay.
And then I got homeschooled and then came back to the fucked up program.
You've been gone for about 4 years from these kids.
And it's like I'm a legend. Like, I come back and like all these little 13-year-old girls are like, oh, there's like whispers like, Bobby went to prison. Shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, I did. I got a tattoo. I can't show you though. I can't show you. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of fun. It was cool to kind of be popular. And then I just became just a little skinny Bobby again. And I got to be pretty normal, which was cool. So
now you're getting older and everything, and you can start to take care of yourself. Driving, does that change your life, or you get the fuck out of home and
driving? Are you kidding me? Are you joking? I didn't have a fucking license until I was 26 years old.
For real, 26?
For real?
I felt like you would have got one right away just so you'd had some kind of freedom
to
get the fuck away.
Food stamps? Food stamps? I'm gonna buy a car with food stamps, motherfucker. What did you mean?
You could steal one.
Exactly.
You know how to drive.
No,
it,
exactly.
you know?
My brothers were doing that.
I am licensed.
Yeah, exactly. Here's my license to send me to jail.
So when does rap and wanting to rap enter life? Is that in high school? Is that later?
I think anybody who does what they do, right? You know, painter, comedian, writer, filmmakers, we kind of always have done that thing our whole lives in one way or another, whether it's, you know, making movies on VHS or studying every film ever like Quentin Tarantino, like that's what we do, you know? And in many ways we also cope. And I think that hip hop for me was not really an escape. It was more of actually a place where I was able to deal with my problems by writing them down. But that was also really difficult because I would write down and I'd be like, man, I'm trying to make it out this shit. I'm trying to get out of it. I'm trying to do it, whatever. And then my mother's like, don't you fucking curse. So then she's telling me like,
yeah, right.
And also my mother sounds like a fucking Dementor from Harry Potter. She's like a fucking like banshee. So when she screams, it's like embeds in your soul. And that was really hard because here I was trying to express myself and she was telling me that I couldn't in a very hypocritical way. I mean, I remember the first time my mother found condoms. I was a virgin and she found condoms in my backpack and she goes, "What are these? What are these?" And I'm like, you obviously don't know what they are because you have like 6 kids. So, okay. I'm like, they're condoms. All right. And I'm like, fuck. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God.
You're giving your mom
I'm like, why am I having this conversation?
Yeah, right.
And she's like, I'm like, I got them. She's like, why do you have them? And we're walking to the store. So it's like 8 miles to the store. That's a joke. But it's definitely like a 2-mile walk for real. There and back. So 4 miles. Damn, that's actually a lot of fucking miles.
That's a lot of miles.
So we're walking and she's like, how could you have these? And I'm like, because I don't want AIDS or a sexually transmitted disease or da-da-da. And she was like, don't use them. And I'm like, what?
She's telling you not to
She's telling me not to use condoms. And I'm like, why? And she goes, because abstinence is the only condom you'll ever need. And I'm like, I don't have a fucking chastity belt on. I'm a human being, you know, and I live in the fucking real world. So I'm like, at some point, this is going to happen. And she's just like, you know, what would God say and all this shit. I'm like, what would God say about you fucking that dude from the bus stop last week? You think I'm joking? From the bus stop. I'll never forget it. The bitch wakes me up 2 a.m.
Why are you getting woken up and drug into this now?
2 a.m. No, this is a different time from when I was younger. I was 10, but this is one of the times that she had some bus stop sex. So she wakes me up. I'm like 10 years old. It's 2 a.m. And she's like, I want you to meet someone very special. And I'm like, okay. And so I walk out. And it's this like nerdy looking black guy. And he's like 20. And she's like, you know, this is Muhammad. And I'm like, okay, nice to meet you. And she's like, I met him at the bus and he is an angel. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, now you may go back to sleep. So I go to sleep. I wake up, completely forgot all that shit. I thought I had a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up, I walk in. I'm like, oh man, it's like Saturday. I'm about to fucking, well, I don't have cable. So I just watching some PBS bullshit. But I'm like, all right, this is going to be great. And I remember I was so hype because my mom got the off-brand Captain Crunch instead of the Kicks, because Kicks are fucking lame.
Kicks, I remember Kicks that orange.
Yeah, why don't you kick rocks, motherfucker? How about that? It's a terrible cereal. So I'm like,
that was a shit
it's
cereal.
like eating like newspaper. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go fuck this off-brand Captain Crunch in the butt. And I go into the kitchen and it's fucking Muhammad eating my shit. And I was like, no way, Muhammad's real? And that's the first thing I think. And then this guy lived with us for like 3 weeks and he's fucking my mom. And don't even get me started on the time I heard my mom getting fucked in the ass when I was like 16. That was, we'll get there. Where were we?
Where Muhammad's eating your Captain Munch up.
Yeah, but and that was just one of the Captain Munch. You
said it was off-brand.
Yeah, that was the Admiral Crunch. That was the first time, or one of the first times my mom started bringing dudes home from.
But what a power play, though. I would never have the balls to come home. I would be like, don't bring your son out here. And even if she did, I would not spend the night and be there in the morning when you got up and eating your Captain Crunch. That is a move. That's a move, man.
Yeah, but he ain't got nowhere to go.
Still, he could leave. He'd go outside. You know what I mean? Outside's free.
I'm also not mad at that guy. You know, he was just trying to get some pussy, man. I'm not.
Yeah, but why you got to be drug into this?
Welcome to my life. Why do I have to be drugged into half of this shit that was, you know what I mean? Like,
so you're hearing that shit go on in the house then too while you live with her? You said you heard her have anal sex.
yeah, she was smoking boat. That's PCP.
Mm-hmm.
So she was smoking PCP. This is back when her and my brother were smoking PCP together.
And what are they dipping cigarettes in? How are they smoking?
Yeah. So for those of you out there who don't know, it's embalming fluid, literally. And they'll dip it. They keep it in the freezer because it doesn't freeze over. And they would smoke that. And then there was this like real super gangsta dude. And this is, so my mother, she would go through these spurts, you know, she would go through these different times of like holiness. And then, you know, 1 minute she's singing, you know, Our Father, oh, ha, ha. And then the next she's like, me, Nirvana. Like, I'm serious. I remember, man, my mom when, and we'll get back to the anal sex
okay, we'll
in a second.
Put that on
I remember when I was in high school, I was in 9th grade, and my mom literally was like, I'm giving up my style for the Lord. First thought, what style? Because she just used to wear black all the time. And she started wearing like Mother Teresa type shit, like all white wool looking, you know, whatever. And so she's like, you know, I've given everything to Christ. And so she's coming to my school, you know, almost like damn near looking like Muslim or something, you know, like with a hijab, but she's got this whole thing. The bitch really looks like Mary Magdalene, like everything. Yeah. I remember I actually,
arms in the sleeves.
yeah, I used to put it on and be like, I'm the ghost of Christianity. Look at me. Like it was really funny. But the thing is like, you know, you had all these other kids, right, who, you know, I'm sure they were a little embarrassed, you know, that you'd have different denominations and races, and you know they all wanted to fit in too. But back then, you can't stand out. And here's my mom in a fucking duvet cover. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. Like just so annoying.
Buttons are dragging on.
No, there's no buttons, dude. There's like safety pins and shit. Like that she put. You think I'm joking? All right. So anyway.
Oh man.
So she'd have a mood like that, and then she'd be on like some gangster shit. She's like, I'm listening to rap and getting fucked in the butt. You know what I'm saying? For real. And she didn't really remember it all, but I remember hearing it, and I was like, man, I got to get out of here. And that was just a difficult time. Bro, there's so many instances. But once again, I'm not shitting on my mom. I'm simply telling my story. You know, sometimes my family, they'll say things to me. They'll be like, you know, they'll kind of be like, hey, man, why'd you say that? And I'm like, why did you do that? That's the real fucking question. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Hey, Dad, why did you steal my identity when I was 10 years old because we have the same name and max out credit cards and ruin my credit before I was a fucking of age? Why did you do that? And he's like, well, you didn't have to say it, nigga. Like, literally, that's my dad. He's like, you didn't have to say it. I'm like, anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome to my fucking life.
Let's talk about him for a minute.
Yeah.
How much of a presence was he in your life? Is he in your life at all now? What?
You know what? He's like, you ever seen Larry David do guest spots on Seinfeld?
Yeah.
You never really see him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once here, over there. He's like, you know, Steinbrenner's voice when Costanza's working for the New York Yankees. That was my dad. It's like you kind of got a sight here and there, and
like
he's always
Bigfoot.
Yeah, like Bigfoot.
Yeah,
it's like blur, like the memories are all blurry of him. But you know, he'd show up, he'd like have a suit, and he'd just like fly. Like he was just like, look at me, I'm in my suit. He'd pull up in a fucking Honda Civic, and he's just that dude, man. You know what I mean? But it's like, really looking back, I'm like, man, that's pretty impressive. You smoking crack, but you walking around wearing suits. Actually, like, congratulations. I don't know how you keeping that up. But he was never there for me. I never had a moment, you know, and not even to try to sound no type of way. I'm gonna be dead serious because I actually just reconnected with my father recently. You did? Yeah. I'm always drawing lines with my dad. There's always like, I'm like, hey, these are the boundaries, and he goes, fuck them boundaries. Like I'm like, he would because he hasn't done it this time. It's like 38 times I'm giving him 38 chances. Literally. I remember I told him, he was like, let me just get one more. Like every time he'll literally be like, let me get one more though.
But does he genuinely want one more?
I think my dad is just, you know, he's 68, man. He's been through a lot. He smoked a lot of crack. He's done a lot of things that he's not proud of.
He's got 9 kids.
Well,
more
technically,
than that.
because I'm the only child between my mother and father. So
Right.
he has 4 kids that I know of, 2 of my older twin brothers, 2 sisters. And then, I mean, he was like Tyler Durden from Fight Club, setting up franchises and shit, just going all the way around.
Franchise.
Yeah, I'm serious. It's just, yeah.
All over Maryland. He stayed local.
It's just the welfare franchise. No, this motherfucker was in like Philadelphia, went to Florida. I definitely got I got some siblings somewhere, you know? Anyway.
Athletic Greens is back. I first heard about Athletic Greens and then I decided to give them a try because I wanted to improve my gut health and give my immune system a little extra support. It's all your key health products like multivitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more working together as one. I added AG1 to my morning routine and it really does leave me feeling like I'm doing something good for my body, like covering my nutritional basis. I'll say this, in the hospital, I would, you know, y'all saw that food. I would just put some AG1 in water and boom, take care of myself right there. It's made with 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food-sourced ingredients that deliver benefits like mood, immune system, and sleep support, sustained energy, and so much more. You can even get it in convenient travel packs for when you're on the go, like I'm going to use for my next upcoming tour. So, if you want to take ownership of your health, today is a good time to start. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/honeydew. That's athleticgreens.com/honeydew. Check it out. This is a public service announcement. Manscaped now has beard products and is going even further with their brand new Weed Whacker 2.0. That's right. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming are traveling north of your South Pole with their revolutionary products. The new Weed Whacker 2.0 and their new beard line confirms they have all the best tools for your hygiene toolbox. Time for you to upgrade your game by going to manscaped.com and using my code HoneyDew for 20% off plus free shipping. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit is the ultimate package that makes it easier than ever to craft your signature look. It all starts with the cordless electric beard hedger. This waterproof cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. The Pro Kit also comes with 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. Plus, the kit has 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors. And to take care of those tough-to-trim ear and nose hairs is the brand new Weed Whacker 2.0. It offers improved blades and skin-safe technology with a no-tugging guarantee. So get 20% off and free shipping with my code HoneyDew at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use my code HoneyDew. Always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. I recently took Kirsten, her husband, Derek, my stepson, all to we wanted to go see the Kings play. We wanted to do something different. I wanted to thank them for everything they did at the hospital. And I was having a heck of a time finding tickets. And we just got this new sponsor, Game Time, and I used them, and it was awesome. It was fast and easy to buy tickets for all the sports. There's music, comedy, and theater, wherever you are. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting excited for the fun you'll have. The Game Time app makes it insanely easy to buy tickets for any event in your area. Once you open the app, you can sort by popular events in your area, by event type, whether it's sport, music, or whatever. You can do it by venue, and they even have the category of events under $50 so you can find something that fits your budget. It's the fastest growing ticket app in the country for a reason. You get images of your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. You can buy tickets in a matter of seconds. 2 taps, boom, boom, and you're set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone so you never have to dig through your email. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code HoneyDew for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code HoneyDew for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, let's get back to the do.
So, what was I saying?
You're talking about your dad.
I know, but I was saying the chances. Mm-hmm. And so like a couple of years ago, I let him back in my life. I'm like, don't be asking me for money. Because I remember one time he's like, oh, I was gonna actually give him, like I bought my brother a truck. That's and then nice. My dad, thank you. And my dad, I mean, I've done a lot for my family. I've done a lot for people that aren't in my family. And I really don't.
Trucks aren't fucking cheap
these
days.
And I don't talk about it because I'm not the guy, I'm not the rapper that's like, hey, y'all, we handing out turkeys in the hood this year for Thanksgiving. And then he leaves for 364 days. and then comes back again with like $800 in turkeys. And then that's it. Like, I'm not that guy. You know, it's honestly, if I'm being real, it's a big reason why I never showed my family like that. Cause you know, people are like, you ain't black. And I've never been like, this is my dad. Like, 'cause I'm not trying to exploit my people of color just to prove at the same time. But
tell me about your dad now. Is he clean now?
Yeah.
Yeah? What did he end up doing with himself? Businessman, you say you're wearing a suit. What did he end up doing for a living and stuff?
Smoked crack.
The whole time?
Yes.
But worked also?
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
My dad has never had a job in his fucking life.
Get the fuck
My
out
dad
of
is
here.
the
68
laziest
years.
guy. He's the Daniel Ocean. You seen Ocean's 11?
Yeah.
My dad,
That's him.
okay, is the Daniel Ocean of laziness. Like, he goes out of his way. There's like schemes. He's like taking red string and like, how can I not work hard? And he's working so hard to not work hard.
Not working hard, yeah.
That's my dad. But now these days he's he's living off Social Security and shit like that, or trying, you know. But I'm gonna see him. I haven't seen him in years, and I'm actually flying him out, you know, flying him first class, and I want him to meet his grandson.
That's good.
So he's never met my boy.
That's what changed me too with my mother. I reconnected with her when I was 40.
Wow.
Or 40, no, I'm lying, 42, 3, and because of my daughter.
Wow.
But let's talk about your mom again. Now, you haven't talked to her in 10 years. Why?
The last time I spoke to my mother, it was my birthday. So it's actually over that. What am I? I'm 33. I was 21. So it's at 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember my sister calling me crying hysterically. And she was like, and I hadn't talked to my mother in a couple of years already. And she was like, Mommy says that I'm the reason that you don't talk to her and blah, blah, blah. Just some real ignorant, poor people shit. So I'm like, I call her and I'm like, Mom, I fucking love you, but the reason I don't talk to you is because of you, not because of anything else, because of you, because not even what you've done to me, but what you still do. Everything is your way. Everything is your way of the fucking highway. Everything like for example, like I was saying earlier, like I could not go to my mom and be like, I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in this. I believe in something. Right there, she'd be like, you're going to hell. Fuck you. That's it. Done. Like, I can't talk to somebody like that. And over the years, I've even asked my brothers and sisters who do talk to her, like, hey, like, how is she? Like, should I? And they're like, don't.
They tell you that.
They're like, and there's been times when I found that I had her number or somehow got something and I would hit her up and be like, I would call and it would be disconnected or go to voicemail or something would happen to get in the way. And I think in a good way, because she's really the type of person that, like, if I introduce my wife to her, like within moments, she could just be cursing her out and screaming at my child. Like, that's the type of person she was. But once again, this is all the sickness. My mother's bipolar, damn near schizophrenic. So
you said she really did go to mental.
Oh yeah, bro. She was getting locked up in mental asylums. And
would you go visit her?
No. I mean, I'd visit. She would take me to visit like her men in prison and shit like that.
For
and
real?
Sneak stuff in. Yeah, shit like that.
Get the fuck out of here. She's taking you to do that?
Yeah. And I mean, it's an all day event too. Once again, bro, we don't have a fucking car. You can't buy a car and food stamps. So we're taking like 3 metro buses and the train and, you know, all this other stuff to go to prison. And I don't know why, because I'm just trying to watch SpongeBob. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's real.
Trying to be a kid.
Yeah. But it was hard to be a kid. It's hard to be a kid when your mom's training you a fucking media press for when the social worker comes over.
Well, it's also hard to be a kid when you have to be the adult in the relationship. And you've been that since day one.
Yeah.
You really have. You know, you can't even have. All right, so let me ask you this then. When do you realize like you need some therapy? And have you gone to therapy? What do you do? Do you journal? Do you meditate? What do you do to fucking deal with the anxiety that all this life brings?
I then used music and writing. Mm-hmm. And I still do that to this day. But, you know, when I was like 24, that's when I got a legitimate therapist. And
what made you do that?
I just wanted to. I was like, I should speak to somebody. I should just talk about.
Again, the stigma of a man going to therapy didn't bother you like a lot. That's a big part of the stigma.
I think a little bit because it was like, oh, you in therapy? What's wrong with you?
Right.
Like, what's wrong with you? It's like,
Bitch.
nothing. Yeah, nothing's wrong.
Nothing. I'm just talking to somebody. I got some shit going on.
But then, like, when I started making my therapist cry, I was like, I need somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even joking. I was like, I need somebody else. You don't understand. This bitch was like,
Give me somebody a seasoned veteran or something.
yeah, because like
because
she was like, oh my God, what the fuck? And I'm like telling her shit, and she's like, I am so sorry for you. And she's like, you deserve everything you have. You deserve the world. And I'm like,
this is what I need, lady.
yeah. I'm like, so can you give me $150 for this session?
For real.
The fuck? But then I found my therapist that I've seen for the last 5, almost 6 years, and she's just armed me with such incredible tools of how not to cope, but how to heal, you know, and how to actually deal with what's going on in my life. And through that, I've found so much out about myself.
Like
And
what?
I mean, just like, you know, I'm damn near a hypochondriac, but a lot of those things are really just intrusive thoughts. And intrusive thoughts in and of themselves, like you could think about, I don't know, stabbing an old lady who's a cashier in the throat with a knife, and you're like, what the fuck? I was actually talking to my godparents about this last night. And some people watching or listening could be like, I've never thought about anything like that. And it's like, yeah, but you thought about some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuff that we are actually so scared, and it could be so despicable and so disgusting that we wouldn't even want to say it out loud, because it's not our thoughts, though. A lot of people think when those thoughts come into their head, like, how could I think something like that? Oh my God, I can't tell anybody. And then they start freaking out. And as soon as they freak out, they're training their brain. So then they start thinking about it more, because they're sending this like trauma alarm in their head off, like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought about kicking a baby. Oh my God. And it really actually tends to be that our intrusive thoughts are the things that we care about most, actually. And at the end of the day, the thing that makes us us and not Jeffrey Dahmer is like, we don't act on those things. We go, oh my gosh, and we cast it aside. And so the same could be said about health anxiety, about anxiety in general. When you ruminate, so rumination and constantly thinking about that thing, that's where it lives, breathes. You're feeding this, whether it's fear, whether it's, you know, maybe you do have like a bit of a pain in your arm, but if you go, it's cancer, as soon as you do that to yourself, you can't do that. And a big thing that I was doing for a long time was reassurance seeking. So it's a cycle. Something could happen, for example.
Explain that, yeah.
So I definitely have health anxiety, but oh my God, night and day from literally even a year ago. I would always be like, I feel weird. I feel out of it. Like even right now, I feel a little here or there. I might have a moment of like, I feel a little dizzy. It's happened once while we're talking, or I'll feel whatever. And there's all these things like, bro, fucking lights on me. Millions of people are going to hear this and see us all over the internet. That's a lot of pressure. And so for me to go, that's okay. You're okay.
And also the content you're talking about.
Oh, it's very deep.
It's not, we're not just sitting here making
shooting the
jokes. You're
shit,
talking about real shit, molestation, all that.
Yeah. And so with that, I used to feel weird all the time. So then I'd go to people like, I feel weird. Do you think I'm okay? And I would ask my wife, like, do you think I'm okay? And she was always there for me. I think you're fine, sweetheart. I think that. And my therapist taught me, like, stop doing that, because realistically, your wife doesn't fucking know if you're okay.
Good point. Yeah.
You could even go to a doctor and be like, am I okay? They don't
they'll
fucking know
misdiagnose you. Yeah.
They could look at you and be like, oh yeah, your heart's good. Everything's great. And then you have a fucking heart attack.
I have to say, I had a problem. My daughter almost got hit by a car. And it would have been brutal. And I talked to Dr. Drew about it, and he's like, have you ever done EMDR therapy? And I said,
I've heard
no,
about
I've
this,
done talk therapy. He's like, no, this is a very specific kind of therapy, and there's an end to it. And I was like, great. Now, some people get there quicker than others. It could be years. It could be months for someone else. But I talked to this
Kevin Smith
lady.
told me about this.
Let me tell you something. It changed my life because
I'm a little scared. This is some L. Ron Hubbard shit.
No, not at all.
You sure?
I promise you,
Okay.
I've done it, and I do it. What I said to her was, I can't stop thinking about what didn't happen. I couldn't stop seeing my daughter get hit by this car, and then this image of this mangled, just God forbid, because it wouldn't have not been.
And she was how old?
Man, that time she's about 5.
Wow. She was just running,
little.
being a kid.
She just came right out to the street by us, and this guy came hauling ass. But wait, he was too close. But still, if she'd have took another step, it's over. And I grabbed her and pulled her back. And
my goodness.
And then I yelled, and then I calmed down right away. And but it fucked me up. And I got scared to start flying. I got to fly for my job. You know how much you fly. I don't fly as much as you fly, but I got to fucking fly.
I had the craziest fear of flying. We'll get there. Let's please continue.
But I used to love it. I used to feel like a rock star fucking going down that runway and taking off. Then all of a sudden I was like, Jesus, every bump, I'd be like, oh, inside. Oh, God. I'd be any turbulence, terrified. Never bothered me before. I used to sleep through it.
And it's like you're gonna die. In your head, you're like, I'm gonna die.
We're going down. We're going
every flight,
fucking down.
We're
every
going
flight.
down.
Yeah, it's still in my mind.
Yeah.
But she taught me tricks about things like monkey taps and
when
all these.
You say she, you mean the person that...
The therapist.
Yes, okay.
Yep. And also just not future tripping.
Future tripping. Thank you. What a beautiful,
right?
I know about that.
That's what we're doing. It's not real right now. But you're conditioned because of your trauma and the way you've been, as you just said, don't do that. Don't put yourself in that. It's cancer. Because once you do, it's worst case scenario every time. Glass half empty, glass half empty. And I also got scared, and I still feel like this is realistic, scared of heights. I had never been scared of heights before, but still a realistic height, I'm still like, I ain't going out on that balcony. Fuck that shit. We're up 20. How many floors? 20? Mm-hmm. Fuck that. I don't need, looks nice from here. I don't need that. But flying, I got over. Now I sleep on my flights. I'm out.
I used to be that way. I almost bought a fucking tour bus.
You going John Madden it everywhere?
Yeah, literally. I was so scared, and I never was.
What did that?
You want to know what fucking did it? Paul Rothenberg, my fucking attorney. That's who did it. You fucking asshole. I'm sitting there. I'm having dinner with him, and this is like 2013, and we're just talking. You know, he educates me. He's a great attorney. He taught me so much about the record business. You know, a lot of people like to keep their artists stupid. Not this guy. Not my team. Not my people.
Is that right?
Yeah. Why do you think I'm a fucking walking company? Because of these
ignorant.
people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. And so he was like, "Hey, man." He's like, "Wow, this place is really good, huh?" This is my Paul Rothenberg impression. He doesn't really sound like that, but he kind of does. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's really great." And he goes, "Oh my gosh, I got to get on this flight tomorrow." And I go, "Oh yeah, I got a flight in a couple of days." He goes, "Yeah, man. What a fucking flying death trap, am I right?" And I'm like, "What?" I'm just 23. I'm like, "What do you mean flying?" He's like, "Yeah, you're just in this metal death machine. It can just go down at any minute. You know, I don't even know how it gets in the air." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." I finished my fucking linguine. You know, I'm doing press the next day, whatever. And I get on an airplane. I'm fine. Take off. Everything's great. Everything's majestic and beautiful and nice. And I fall asleep. And then I just hear, "Flying metal death trap, flying metal death trap," like in my mind. And I wake up and I just have the biggest panic attack ever. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this doesn't make any sense. This isn't natural. Motherfuckers are supposed to be on the floor. We ain't supposed to fly. What is going on?" Mm-hmm. You know, Spaghetti Monster would have gave me wings if I was supposed to fly.
The Wright brothers were wrong.
Yeah, the Wright brothers were wrong. The Wright brothers were wrong, brother.
Wrong, brother.
Yeah. So I'm like freaking out. Bro, like 8 years.
Whoa.
Like 8 years.
How the fuck did you panicked for 8 years on flights like that? Did you knock yourself out and take anything?
No, I never, mind you, I didn't start drinking alcohol or smoking weed until I was like 27. So because of my childhood, seeing my parents and, you know, struggle with all that. So I'm white knuckling, literally. I'm there like
every flight.
And I'm like shaking and just everything. And then one day through therapy, I was just like, bro, I'm not in control. I have to relinquish control. I'm not, as much as I want to be in control, I'm not in control.
No matter what, it's not like you can walk up there and tell that pilot, "Move, dude, let me do this."
But even then, it's like they want to get home just as bad as I do. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully it's not one of those suicide
I know,
pilots.
exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you don't want one of those.
Oh, my God.
guys.
You think that could happen?
Happened.
Do you think that could happen to us? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you. But so future tripping is like, that's a real thing. It's like, why would you freak out about something that has not happened? You know what will happen? My son is going to die.
Yep.
My wife's going to die. I'm going to die. You're going to die.
We're all going.
We're all dead. Nobody makes it out alive.
Nobody.
And that's all right. It is what it is.
That's how it's supposed to go.
And all we can do is focus on the now and the present and do the best that we can with what we have. And that's why I kiss my wife every time I leave and give her a hug and tell her I love her. And I kiss my son and, my best friends, my fucking security guard, one of my best friends in the world, Jordan, I give him a fucking hug. I tell him I love him before he leaves every day. Like, these are the people that I care about. And
I'm feeling that hard right now. After being in the hospital in January for a month and almost dying,
that's wild.
Yeah, I mean, it made me really. I was already grateful. I was journaling every day about how I was grateful for my health and my daughters every fucking day. And I was like, God damn, I really feel like I put my time and effort in on that health shit. And then, like the one surgeon said, he's like, you didn't do anything wrong. This is just a genetic thing, and that's what happened, blah, blah, blah.
That
so
sucks.
After that, you're laying on your back. I'm just starting physical therapy now. I'm telling you, old dudes are running laps around me now. I just got off a cane.
Really?
Yeah, I was a walker first, then a cane. But I feel, mentally good. I can sit and do this. I'm not going to start touring until, you heard my dates, Fort Wayne, Indiana in May sometime. I've got a few months, so I got to let these lungs and shit heal up. But
you said lungs? What do you mean?
I had clots. I ended up clotting in my lungs. It's called pulmonary embolisms. And
but you smoke.
No, you're allowed to smoke marijuana. Now, not allowed. I'm going to tell you this. This is what they say. They told me never smoke cigarettes. No vapes, no cigars, no alcohol because I'm on blood thinners for life. 4 surgeons.
Wait, you can't drink?
They don't want me to drink.
Ugh, that sucks.
But see, I'm not a drinker. I'm a weed smoker, and this is what I kept saying to them in there. Is this my end? Is this the end of the run? Am I going to edibles? What is going on? I only smoke weed, and I do a little bit of shrooms. That's it. And they said,
I haven't done shrooms yet. I can't wait. We'll talk about it.
It's going to change your life.
That's what they say.
It's going to change your life. And it's a great reset. It's just a great reset. But they said those 2 things will never hurt you. And I said, how can I fly and how can I smoke marijuana with clots in my lungs? And they said that what you have in your lungs, it is what it is. Your body will take care of it. It could be up to a year before your body gets rid of these clots on its own. Then your lungs are clear. But if you're going to smoke anything, again, there's a 2-part message. We don't ever want you to smoke anything. We're doctors.
Yeah.
But if you're going to put anything in your lungs, it's cannabis. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And they're like, you can smoke. And I said, I smoke a lot of weed. And they go, we know, we saw your blood test results when we came in. I said, well, that was 5 days clean for the surgery. And they go, you're nowhere near in any harm of doing damage to yourself.
That's like the greatest news you could have ever heard.
And I couldn't get over it. These are all different surgeons who don't work with each other, don't know they told me this and shit. And I'm recording them. They don't know I'm recording, but I got that phone right there on record. And I'm like, I can fly and I can. They're like, yep, you can do it.
What are you in the Wire? Are you are you like somebody from the Wire? You don't know I'm recording right now, all right?
I also wanted every fucking thing over because you're so doped up on Dilaudid and drugs.
Yeah,
you don't know what's
going
fuck's going on.
No, I get
and
that.
they do that. You wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they go, Bobby, we're going to tell you all the most important information you need to hear right now about your health. Here's some medicine you take these 2, and then they're out of there.
Make sure I never talk shit about anyone else around me. Because then I know I'm being recorded. Okay, so you did the surgery.
Yeah.
You got to pee?
Bottle of water right here. I did the surgery 2 times. I had to do the surgery.
Oh my goodness.
Because there was a tear, and then they let me lay there for a while, and that's how I ended up clotting. I knew I would because I had clotted before.
But wait, you clotted in your lungs?
Yeah.
So but I thought it was a back surgery.
It was. But what happened? So in 2016,
man, we got to do all this math now for this story.
I get diagnosed with
Just kidding.
a genetic blood disorder, right? It's called factor V line. It just means that I have thick blood and it's prone to clotting. So I got to keep my machine moving. Bed rest or anything like that, I'm in danger of dying because my blood will clot. So
How long have you had that?
It's since birth. It's a genetic thing, but I don't find out until I'm 40 because my legs started clotting and I was rubbing they like felt like they were itching and I'm rubbing my jeans. I'm like, God damn, I can feel my veins through my jeans. So I call the hospital and they're like, sir, you're clotting. Get here now. And I drove in there and it was end up being a whole thing from kidney stones. I go on bed rest, I clot, right? The thing is you could have this and people have.
Wait, you had kidney stones?
Yeah.
Did you piss them out?
Yes.
Ooh.
Bro.
All right, we'll get there. Keep going.
So
this is crazy.
So, all right, we'll go there. So 2016, I get kidney stones and they keep telling me, you're fine, you're fine. I'm like, I'm not fine. I start clotting in my chest and I'm telling them, I'm going home. They keep kicking me out of the hospital, telling me I'm wrong. And I'm like, I'm not wrong. And I go home, and this one night, I lay on my bed, and I'm crying. I give myself up to whoever and whatever.
Wow.
I was like, I'm done. This is exactly how my father died. I'm 42, same age. This is real weird parallels.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself up. Thank God I wake up, and I just start being diligent about this. I'm like, you got to fucking fix this and help me. And they end up helping me get out of pain and realizing now that I've got this blood disease, and that's what had been clotting me and everything else.
Wow.
But they don't put me on blood thinners. So fast forward to this surgery, I'm telling everybody in my paperwork before I go, if anything fucking happens, trust me, you know that 0.001%? I'm the fucking guy. That's me in that pocket. That's what this show's all fucking about. And they do the surgery, but there's a small tear, and it starts ballooning up with blood. And they're like, you just have to come back in. We got to cut you open, fix that tear.
But wait,
drain
the
you.
tear is in your back?
Right in my lower back.
Okay.
This tramp stamp area, like a scar. Like that's my tramp stamp. I got a tramp stamp now.
Nice. Okay. Love it.
So they cut me open a second time, but now it's not healing. So like just lay here and relax. I'm supposed to be there 3 days max. Well, 3 turns into 4 or 5. I'm there 8.
Wait, like it's not healing like it's together?
It healed together, but it's not, the swelling's not going down.
Should have gave you a tramp clamp.
You
Kept everything intact, you know? Right. Anyway, all right, I'm listening.
So I'm telling them and keep telling them. They do an ultrasound on my legs. Like, nah, you're good. The day I'm supposed to get out, it's literally MLK Day.
Nice.
I have to pass a stairs test because I have stairs going up into my place. And thank God, something like that you don't even think of. The fact that I got a home that has stairs saved my life. So I go to do the stairs test. I go up and down. Now she goes, go up sideways like you're holding on a rail like this. I go up and down. And the whole time I'm telling her, I feel different today. I can't put my finger on it, but I feel weird. And then she says, literally her words are, Mr. Sickler, as your occupational therapist, I can tell you that you have successfully passed all the steps necessary to go home today. You're free to go. And I fucking collapse on the bed and I say, I'm clotting. And she's like, what? I go, I'm clotting. I've had before. I know it. The doctor runs in. He does my blood pressure. He's like, you might be having a heart attack. And I was like, huh? I go, no, this has happened. I'm clotting. He's like, tell me what you feel. I said, I feel 3 elephants on my chest. And he goes, keep talking to me. And as I'm talking, I feel heart attack 101. I feel the pain. I go, here it comes. Pain in the jaw. It goes down my arm. He says, you might be clotting and having a heart attack. And then I black out. And when I wake up, there's a nurse standing over me, and I said, am I going home today? She's like, your discharge has been canceled. And I spent the next month in the hospital trying to fucking live because they were like, you're not in a great shape.
And this was when?
This was just in January. Yeah, I just started physical therapy.
I'm so
now.
happy you're here.
Me too,
this
brother.
Is wow.
That's nice of you. Thank you
no,
so
but
much.
that's
I'm happy I'm here. That's what I'm saying. like I'm really practicing gratitude now after all this shit. You need another water?
I'm good, thank you.
Good?
Damn, that's a crazy story, man.
It's
and I can only imagine because I'm going to be honest. I feel like you in the sense of I'm really appreciative of the days that I have and the people around me and everything. I
love my job. I work for myself now.
But that's
I create my own schedule.
That's also a thing to also kind of teach you, like, one, don't future trip, but anything could literally happen at any time. So, like, the fact that in a month from now, it could happen again means you need to enjoy what you have right now. But we can't freak out because you could live to your 90 and be all right.
That's right.
You know?
And why be miserable the whole time, freaking out about not living? And then you're like, damn, I made it to 90. I already outlived my father. That was a big deal for me personally to pass in age, but also so young.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm at 50. I mean, my back, my knees don't agree with me, but I still feel like I'm in my 20s.
That was one of my top cries.
Tell me.
So you talk about passing your father at 42. Mm-hmm. When I turned 32, do you know who Jay Dilla is?
Mm-mm. The rapper?
Yeah, rapper and producer.
Yeah, I do. I've heard the name for sure.
Yeah, he passed away in 2006, and his stamp on music, let alone hip hop, is one that will last forever. His timing, signatures of his kicks and his snares and his samples, and he was in an incredible group called Slum Village. One of my favorite albums of all time, Fantastic Volume 2 with T3 and Batin. And I'd always known about Dilla, and I'd heard Dilla beats my whole life, and on Common's albums or this or that. Never really knew that he had done a lot of it. And then I remember when I was around 30, I started really diving into the Dilla thing because I wanted to really start producing, really focus on production. I've always produced, but I mean on my own. I don't need another guy playing keys. I don't need another guy just me. And I went down this J Dilla rabbit hole. Everything you could know about him, I figured out and I learned. And he became such a part of me. And I turned 32 and I think about, I could cry right now. Think about this. Is that because, sorry, man.
Don't be.
Because this guy really changed my life, bro. And he was 32 years old when he died. And he died of fucking this crazy blood condition. He had lupus and he left, beautiful children behind. Sorry, dude.
Don't be.
It's just difficult because I'm like, this dude changed so much. And here I am. And I was telling my wife this shit. And I was just talking to her about how much I love J Dilla. And then I was like, and he died when he was my age right now. And it just hit me in a way because I think about how much he accomplished by 32, how much I accomplished by 32. I'm 33 now. But I think about how much I got left. And I think about the fact that was stripped from him and taken from him. And it makes me so fucking sad. And that was a really hard cry, but it was also a beautiful cry because I was like, I'm keeping this man alive.
Yeah.
Me and many others like me who love him and have been chiseled in how we create music because of this man's legacy. So
that's what I'm doing with this. That's what I named my album, Lefty's Son, after my special, after my dad. My comedy, keeps them alive. So I feel you on that. And the other thing too, his kids lost him. And I thought about that in the hospital. I don't want my 8-year-old daughter to be without a fucking dad, especially me. I'm a good dad. We get along great. I'm not like your dad.
Yeah, for sure.
Or my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that. As a parent now, do you find yourself maybe overcorrecting a little bit? Were you also worried that it was genetic and that you would be a shitty parent? Because I was like, fuck, what if I'm like my mom and not like my dad? I couldn't imagine it though, and I'm not. But were you ever worried about that?
I'll tell you genetically one thing I was worried about in 1 second. I remember when, my wife's about to pop and I'm talking to people, throughout the pregnancy, and I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm so nervous. I want to be a good dad. I hope I'm a good dad. And so many people literally were like, the fact you think that means you're going to be a great dad.
That's good advice.
Because you actually care. You're like, I'm learning fucking swaddling and all this shit and all this stuff, and I'm learning it. And the fact that I cared so much before the baby was even here let me know, dude, my dad was not there when I was born. You know what I mean? He's fucking crack. So it's like mission accomplished, dude. You're already a better father than yours was, and your kid ain't even here yet. And when I was nice to myself and was like, dude, you're going to be a great dad. You're going to fuck up. You're going to make mistakes. You might raise your voice one time. You might do something that is going to make you really sad or this or that or whatever, but you're always going to be a fucking good dad because you care enough. Now, what scares me genetically, right, is I could be the best dad in the world and my wife could be the best ever, but my son is who he is as a person. And that scares me that he could become a drug addict. He could become a bully. He could become a criminal. He could become all the things that I was destined to become, but averted. And that really scares me. Do I think that he's going to do that? No, I think he's a fucking genius. I think he's incredible. I think he's amazing. But I'm also not going to be there every second of his life. So all I can do is the best that I can to prepare him for that world and just hope for the best. So.
That's very well said. I mean, I'm having real life conversations with my 8-year-old kid about fentanyl already.
It's real.
Because you have to.
That is real.
There's kids in her school whose older brother had already passed from it. They're doing commercials on TV about it all the time. So I'm like, we're not going to run from it. We have friends. My really, really good friend's daughter got a hot shot and she died. And, she meets him and I ask him, how are you doing? And he's crying and I'm crying. And she's like, what happened to his daughter? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to fucking lie to you because this shit's real out here. Like if you ever, and they're designing them to look like candy for kids and shit.
Shit is wild.
Right? All right, going back to genetics though, let's talk about, you had 2 addicts for parents.
Mm-hmm.
How do you fight that? Have you ever had the urge to go down that path, or do you, like you said, you didn't start alcohol or weed until later because you were cognizant of that? But were you battling it ever?
I drank. I never remember being drunk. I think the most I ever, like as a teenager and shit, like the most I ever did was like chug a beer and a half and maybe take a shot, and literally, just like went to sleep, like immediately. So I don't remember that, and I was so terrified that it would change me. That was the thing. I was scared, that if I drank alcohol, it was going to change who I was as a person.
In a bad way.
In a bad way. Same with weed. So I definitely had my fair share of smoking weed as a kid. Nothing crazy, but like I smoked it like 9th, 10th grade. That was basically it. And so 14, 15, and I'd skip school and shit like that. Wasn't that deep. Somebody definitely laced a blunt one time. I was with a couple of my homies, and there was these guys who sold them the weed, and we were all freaking out and kind of out of it. I think they might have like put some PCP in it or something like wild, and that was scary. But yeah, I just knew. I just looked at my family, not just my mom and my dad, but some of my brothers and sisters, and was like, I don't want to be this. And I also didn't want to be on the other side of it, because my brothers had even sold crack to our dad. Which is, yeah. You can't make this shit up.
No, dude.
Yeah, definitely not. So that was like a wild thing, you know what I mean? Or me learning how to cook crack, or.
You learned?
Yeah. When I was a teenager. Well, there was once when I was younger, but I didn't really, and then there was another time when I was like 18, and I was at my sister's house, and it was just this whole process. I talked to Theo about it. And it was like,
So wait, you're handling this stuff.
Yeah.
But the elements, you're aware and present that the elements around you enough that this is going to destroy your life. So even though you're touching it and fucking with it or whatever, you're not using.
No. And I mean, the smoke is billowing into the vent of little girls' rooms above us and shit. Like, this is like a fucking wild situation.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was kind of
crack smoke.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was kind of like, oh, this is cool. I'm cooking crack. But then like I go downstairs afterwards, and I'm like disappointed in myself. I'm like, why did I do that? Like, what the fuck is going on? So that's why a lot of people ask me like, how did you not go down the same path? Whatever. And I always say, I don't know. A God and common sense. I don't know.
There's something in you though.
I know, but that's what I mean. But I don't know what it is.
Right.
I can't. But guess what? You know what?
Guts.
To me, it's kind of like
guts.
religion. A lot of people like, my mom, for example, like she needs religion. She would always say like, if it wasn't for Jesus Christ, I'd have murdered a lot of motherfuckers. She would like
You
for
believe
real,
it.
yeah. And I know it. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm really glad you believe in Jesus. Like that's good for you, and that you have that, and that you need that. But I don't know. I just never needed. I just knew what to do. Like I didn't need something to believe in, like, oh, I'm gonna follow God or a specific religion or blah blah blah, and because it says thou shalt not kill, I'm gonna really hold this urge not to kill anybody. It's like, no, morally that's just who I am, and I think a lot of people, for example, who believe in a specific religion. Once again, I'm not shitting on anybody here. That's my Jesus. My Jesus, da-da-da, and my God, this.
Is
and
the
my
white
God,
pretty
and this
Jesus
is,
with the robe
whatever.
and the blowout?
Yeah,
That's your
the
Jesus.
blowout.
That's your
The
Jesus.
blowout. Yeah, he just hit.
Where did he get a hair dryer?
He went to
back then?
He went to dry bar. He got done up. But I know that a lot of people are like, they need the answers. So it's like, okay, I follow this religion because I have faith, and I know that if I do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to heaven. And that's how my mom was. And then I woke up one day and I realized maybe there is no heaven. Maybe there is no God. Maybe this, maybe that. What do I believe in? And I think the fact that I was like, as I just expressed to you, I said, I don't know what it is inside of me that kept me from doing those things. I don't need to know. A lot of people need to know. I need to know this is the thing for me, and this is the. I don't need to know. I'd like to know. I mean, who would? I mean, I'd love to know if there was aliens. You know what I'm saying?
Motherships hovering around.
Could you imagine like an alien BJ? It's probably amazing, right? I mean, who would try? It's probably out of this world. You know what I'm saying? I come in peace. No, anyway. No, it's something that's just like, I don't need to know that. And a lot of people definitely feel like they need to. So even when I think about like, people would say things like, how could your mother be racist and call you the N-word and XYZ? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, I know. I'm not here to try to make it make sense. It's a disgusting, terrible thing. And that sucks that I lived through that. And it is what it is.
Look, I'm with you on that. Sometimes you don't need to know why. Sometimes you sleep better not knowing why. I resonate with that because whenever I step right before I go on stage, I always get nervous. I get the adrenaline, the butterflies, all that. But the moment I'm out there, good or bad set, they're gone. And people have asked me, like, when? I'm like, the moment I walk out there, those butterflies are gone. Why? I don't know. And I say it all the time. I don't even want to fucking think about why. It works. It's working. The minute I start thinking about why, I might start fucking it up. You know what I mean? Getting in my own way, future tripping or tinkering this and do that. No, just leave it alone.
I do that sometimes. Like I just did Jimmy Kimmel and I did this crazy performance. Like we start in this like makeshift basement and then I'm rapping like crazy. I'm standing on a fucking table like Kanye, and then we walk through and then it's like this, all the fans are there. It's live. And then I make my way to a stage and all this shit. And I remember getting to this part. And it was this part that I rapped a million times, and I was so scared I was going to fuck it up. And it goes, let me get up on an MPC when I couldn't make him beat some to MVP. And I made motherfucker, you're an NPC. Got him full of envy. The boy from MD. Destroy what I see. Deployed an IB. The illest MC. Braggadocious flow. Vein like an IV. And I'm all up in the system. Blink once and you might have missed him. Pack a punch like I'm Sonny Liston. Better listen like I always do the intuition. Never missing unless I'm on tour in the family. I miss him. Come and get some money. And
how the fuck do you do that? I could never do that for one song. You do it for so many
I do it for a lot of fucking songs. Dude. But this was the first time I'd ever done it.
Live or ever?
Ever.
Damn.
So I'm like, don't fuck this up. And as I'm walking to the stage to do that part, let me get up on the MPC. Like, I'm like, oh shit. Because you got to also understand, like, when I memorize lyrics, right? My mom actually taught me how to memorize.
How do you do it?
I was Shakespeare in a wax museum at school. And I had this like my frilly little thing that I could read from. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I'm William Shakespeare. That was the first line. And the second line was, I was born in some fucking long time ago, whatever that is. Yeah. And then the third line was whatever. And then she was like, she would make me do the first one. I'm William Shakespeare. 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 Over and 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 fucking over and over, bro. And over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And then she gave me the second line. And I was born in some fucking time. Over and over and over and over and over. And we would do this over and over and over until I knew every line. Because she was like, you're not reading some fucking sissy piece of paper. You're going to know this. And that's how I memorize rap lines to this day. Now I'm just so much of a professional at doing it. It doesn't take me forever. But
well, Chris Rock just said he fucked up a joke on that live Netflix. He's like, oh, I fucked up the punchline. Or I can't remember what he said, but you ever fuck up in a way where people don't know?
That's all the time. Yeah.
You ever accidentally drop a verse from another song in this song or anything like that?
I've never done anything like that, but I've just like fucked up and forgotten. But the thing is I just have ways to go about it that the crowd doesn't even know, that I'll tell you when the camera isn't even on. Because but what I was going to say is that on that specific thing, I was so scared because of the flow, and the way that I memorize is I actually don't memorize words. So I don't look and go, the honeydew with, like, I don't do it that way. It's all here. So I've realized that it's literally muscle memory. Oh. It's like a dance. So if somebody does a specific dance, they do all that. I just went to Bollywood real quick. Anyway, if somebody does a specific dance, they do it over and over and over.
So by saying it so many times, that muscle memory, you've got it?
Let me get up on the MPC when I couldn't make it. Man, motherfucker, you're an NPC. Got full of envy. And it's literally just the way my tongue and lips and fucking teeth move that I could rap it without saying a word, but I couldn't sit here and go, let me get up on the NPC.
Right.
I don't know what comes after that. And that's just a really weird way that I memorize my shit.
I want to ask you a few more things before we wrap this up. How do you deal with anxiety today? Do you have time for us?
Just like lots of blow. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I'm good. We're good on time.
You obviously go to therapy.
Yeah, I go to therapy. I deal with things head on. I use my tools. I really use my tools. You know, a lot of people they tend to seek help, but then motherfuckers will be like, don't do this, do this. And they're just like, what? Huh? Like they just can't do it, and they don't do it. And maybe they're so stuck in their ways that they just refuse to do it, even though they're calling for help, and that's cool, but I'm not here to pull teeth, you know? And that's kind of how I am in my life and with the people that I keep around me. It's like, especially now, because I've helped a lot of people, but I've also enabled a lot of people and done a lot of things for them because I just wanted them to make it, and you can't do that. You cannot do it for someone. So for me, when it comes to anxiety and dealing with it, it's those tools, you know. Don't ruminate over things. Don't body check. Don't ask for reassurance. Don't use forms of reassurance seeking. Don't ruminate and overthink on those thoughts, whether they're intrusive or thoughts about bills or money or this or all these other things, man. Like, you have to let all that shit go. And if you fucking snap your arm in half, then you can freak out and go, oh shit, you think I'm gonna be all right, doctor? Like that's
legit, yeah.
That's real. But if you're like, oh, my heart's beating kind of fast, do you think I'm okay? It's just like, you gotta let that shit go. So I'm using my tool, and I'm not perfect. I'm fucking far from perfect, bro. I'm fucked up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, me too. Yeah. I am fucked up.
Yeah, but I think I'm a pretty good fucked up.
You're pretty good fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, last question before I ask you
Doesn't
the final
have to be the last one though.
When? Okay.
Just saying. 8 inches. No, I'm just kidding. What? Huh.
What? When did you know? When did you feel the shift from before to the level you're at now? When did you feel it happen?
Do you mean in my career or in my personal life?
In
my career? The shift. Wow. Well, I feel like there's like 2 different moments. There's the moment that's like, oh shit, I just signed a record deal. My life is officially changed.
Because that was 1 year after where you had already taught, which would make anybody be like, holy fuck.
Yeah. And it was still a grind, and it was still like for years, like even when my debut album was out, like it was still. And I never had a hit song. I had hit records. I had hit albums. Oh, okay. Like my albums like sold well, hundreds of thousands of copies, now millions, but hundreds of thousands. Like when I was 25. So if I got my record deal in 2011, by 2015, I was in Chicago playing 5,000 cap rooms with no hit, nothing on the radio. The radio, fuck, I'm old. Yeah, nothing on the radio.
Yeah.
But the moment my life fucking changed, I'll never forget. It was at the MTV Music Awards. I gave a speech after the song 1-800 that about mental health and suicide prevention, and I gave a speech, and that speech consisted of powerful words regarding every man, woman, and child, regardless of race, religion, color, creed, and sexual orientation, and the fight for equality of all man. So that shit, and seeing like random ass fucking people like Haley Steinfeld and like other pop stars like clapping and being like, oh, and crying and shit. I like watching it back. I was like, oh shit. I felt like when Kanye snatched the mic out of Taylor Swift's hand. I was like, except like I dropped the mic. Like it was a wild thing. And I overnight went from Logic that was known in hip hop to a household name, fucking doing Ellen and shit. And then ever since then I kept it up. And then I retired. I stepped away.
Why?
I stepped away because I was tired of subjecting myself to the negativity on the internet, because I still was not at a place where I could accept the fact it was okay that it hurt, and then learned how to deal with that pain in a proper and mature way, which is where I am at now. And I feel yet another huge resurgence and shift in my career, because I'm not here as a rapper. I am here as a fucking comedian, as a writer, as a musician, as a rapper. I'm all these things, and I'm not here to promote a fucking tour. I'm really not. I'm not here to promote an album. I'm here to be like, this is me. Get used to seeing me, because you're going to see me fucking everywhere.
I fucking love it, dude.
Yeah.
Look, man, thank you for being here. This has been a great interview.
Thank you. Yeah, it has.
I've loved talking to you.
Thanks for not asking me fuckboy shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's not who I am.
I know, and but that's also,
these are real. We had real conversations.
Yeah,
today.
we did.
We had a real moment.
I feel like I made a friend.
Thank you.
You know?
Same. I'm coming to see you live, dude.
I appreciate that.
Wait.
I'd love to come see you live. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be back on stage locally in April when my lungs can handle.
You know, I've always wanted to do stand up. Maybe one day you'll let me open for you.
Listen, I do a monthly show. When I'm healthy, I do a monthly show at the Comedy Store. It's called The Re-Up with Ryan Sickler. We get the best comedians. It always sells out.
I'm probably going to bomb.
I will absolutely let you fucking...
I'm not even joking.
I'm putting you on.
I want to do it. I'll come. I think my thing, though, is I'm not going to I'm not a punchline guy. I'm just going to tell stories.
That's it. I'm a storyteller.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like...
Listen, I'm hitting the Comedy Store up today for an April show, and if you're in town, you're on it. Don't do anybody else's stand-up show before you come and do mine.
Bro, I've never even talked to anybody about this. What are we going to do?
There it is. Don't go do it.
Okay.
Come out and break
I'm
your cherry
scared.
on the
Can
re-up.
I just have like 5 minutes and that's it?
That's it. It's all you need.
Or maybe like 10 minutes.
You'll feel it.
We'll figure it out. I'm kind of regretting this.
You got time.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure it out.
But before you go, I want to ask you this because I ask everybody their first time after everything we've talked about.
8 inches.
That's good.
It's a Comcast remote. I measured it one time.
It's fat too, like that.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's not.
Whose dick did you lay your? Whose remote did you lay your dick on? I hope it was yours.
It was mine. It was a Comcast remote. I was with my wife one day, and I was like, "Oh shit, look at this! What the fuck? That's crazy! I could change your channel."
You know what? I want to ask you this real quick. Your mother's obviously it's been a while. She's never met your wife or your son, so you're flying your dad out to meet your son. Do you anticipate that moment with your mom someday? No.
I wish. Unfortunately, she's.
That's on her, though. You're saying not. You'd be open to it if she cleaned up. And...
Let me tell you something I haven't told anybody. My mother is no longer an addict. She doesn't smoke cigarettes anymore. She doesn't drink. She doesn't any of this. And I, like I've had with my father, had a moment where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I really want to talk to my mom. And I saw myself as a little boy. Mm-hmm. Makes me emotional. I saw myself as a little boy and I thought about me as a little boy and my mama. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that little boy to be able to just hug his mom again. And I asked my brother, I said, can you tell mom I really want to talk to her and can I have her phone number? And she told my brother, he can write me a fucking letter.
Damn.
So I was like, no, I'm not. And that just shows where you are mentally. And there it is. That's the nail in the coffin. So now I'm focusing on, I don't know, my godmother, Mary Jo, who's actually in town right now with my godfather, Bernie. And
I met Bernie. Great dude. I met Jordan. Great guy.
Yeah. So I'm focused on.
Fuck writing her a letter. Write those songs. Write those hit songs, dude.
Yeah. Maybe I will write her and I'll let everyone in the world hear it through music. Maybe I will do that.
Yeah.
Dear mama.
Yeah, do your Tupac, dear mama.
Dear mama, why you smoking crack? Dear mama, why you smoking PCP getting fucked in the butt? Dear mama.
All right, 16-year-old self. What advice would you give to 16-year-old Bobby?
People ask me this. I would say I think I wouldn't give him advice because I wouldn't even want him to. I would want him to think his life sucks and is over and be as motivated as he possibly could.
So this is how it's supposed to be.
It's how it's supposed to be. But you know what I would tell him if I could? I would tell him I love you and you're a good person and good job and keep being you. That's what I would tell him because nobody was there to tell me that.
That's right. You're on your own.
So that would have been cool.
Great advice.
But yeah, that's what it is.
Dude, thank you so much, man. I've really enjoyed this a lot.
Thank you. And can I just shout out everyone listening?
Please.
Yeah. I'm sure some of my fans are here, but, I know all your fans are here. And I just want to say thank you all so much if you made it through this interview for listening and being here and fucking with us. And I hope you had a good time. And I just hope you have an amazing day or evening or fucking whatever, man. Just keep being great and spread that positivity.
You're going to get a ton of love on this.
Oh, thank you.
A ton of love.
I appreciate it.
We have the best fucking fans.
That's great.
I'm telling you, die hard. You're going to love it.
Amazing.
One more time, plug whatever, if anything you want.
Yeah, whatever, who gives a shit.
All right, dude. Thank you for doing this.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, dude.
Sure.
As always, RyanSickler.com. Ryan Sickler on all social media. We'll talk to y'all next week.